Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about cooperation between India and Bangladesh. An easy editorial, not too many words to learn. Let us start the session with editorial vocabulary. What is the first word over here? Spirit. Spirit has many meanings, but in this context, it is a noun, the prevailing or typical quality, mood, or attitude of a person, group, or period of time. Here you can take it as the prevailing mood, the spirit of doing something. Precede, we have got a few times, and part of speech, it is a regular verb. Precede, preceded, preceded. What does it mean? Come before something in time. Am I audible? Third word, resolve. Resolve is a verb form and resolution, the noun form. Part of speech, again, a regular verb. Settle or find a solution to a problem or contentious matter. Contentious, an important word. That is the next word. Is it streaming? And am I audible? I want one of you to respond. Resolve, settle, or find a solution to a problem or contentious material or matter. No one has responded. This is the third time I'm asking. Am I audible? Is it streaming? Contentious and important. Thank you very much, Ganesh. Contentious is an important word, though we have got a few times. What does it mean? Contentious, part of speech adjective, not a verb. Causing or likely to cause an argument. You can also say controversial. Controversial topic, controversial issue. Obviously, it has to be an adjective. Hold up. Hold up, you got to be a little careful. It has got two different meanings. Generally, it has a negative connotation and getting stopped or getting blocked. Usually we say, I got held up somewhere. But in this context, it has the other meaning, which is a positive meaning. It is a phrasal verb, hold up. To remain strong or successful, that is one meaning. In this context, the regular meaning, to delay someone or something. So you got to be a little careful. Hold up. Elusive, we have got a few times. Part of speech adjective, difficult to find, catch, or achieve. Success has been elusive. A typical example means what? Difficult to achieve. Constitute, this also we have got many a time. Part of speech verb, be part of a whole. Constitute, be part of something. Advent, an important word. Part of speech noun, the arrival of a notable person or thing. Advent of rains, advent of monsoon, advent of something. Incumbent, again, you got to be careful. See, usually what happens nowadays, they're asking questions. If you take word usage, there we come across words with multiple meanings. Here, and those words are very important from the exam point of view. One, you have to be cautious and careful. Hold up. It has a positive connotation, it has a negative connotation. And many a time we have got the word incumbent, and it has got two different meanings. One meaning, the meaning we have got many a time, the someone who is in power or someone who is holding power, who is in office, incumbent CM, chief minister. But here, a different meaning altogether, necessary for someone as a duty or responsibility. Incumbent, necessary for someone as a duty or responsibility. Do remember the second meaning. Inimical, an important word. Here, please focus on the analysis. Whatever I'm teaching, don't go off the track. Any question you can ask at the fag end of the session, not during the analysis. Anything related to analysis, I will appreciate, I will answer. But questions not related to editorial analysis, it is nothing, they are nothing but distraction. Please don't ask questions not related to The editorial. Inimical, part of speech adjective, tending to obstruct or harm. A typical example, inimical neighbor or inimical someone. That means tending to obstruct or harm. It has a negative connotation. I'm sure you guys know the meaning of the word refugee. A refugee, part of speech, noun singular, refugees plural. A person who has been forced to leave their country or his or her country in order to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster. Some problem in a particular country, and a particular person may leave that country because of that particular problem. And he may go to some other country. Then we use the word refugee. Annex, we have got a few times. Part of speech verb, add territory. It has two or three meanings. In this context, add territory using force usually to one's own territory by appropriation. And the last word, rhetoric, we have got this a few times. The art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing to convince someone. It goes with public speaking. As I said, today's editorial, an easy one, and only a few words, and many of these words I'm sure you guys know. Now let us go to the editorial. How does it start? The spirit of 1971. I'm sure you know 1971, there was a war, and that time Bangladesh got liberated. Indians got won the war, and here it talks about that. The spirit, there was cooperation between India and Bangladesh. It talks about the same thing. The spirit of 1971. What is the meaning of the word spirit in this context? The prevailing or typical quality, mood, or attitude of a person, group, or period of time. But in this context, it means the attitude of a particular person or a particular country, a nation, the spirit or a particular time, period of time, the spirit of 1971. But still, you cannot make out what exactly the editorial is about. You have to read the next sentence. Then you understand what it is about. India and Bangladesh must focus on future cooperation based on past partnership. 1971, there was partnership. So this says India and Bangladesh must focus on future cooperation. Must, helping verb, it has two functions. One, it is used to express a personal obligation. Second, it is used to convey the idea that something is compulsory. So must focus on future cooperation based on what? Based on past partnership. This is the main idea. But there should be some stimulus to write the editorial. Now let us go to the editorial. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's ongoing state visit to India and meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi have resulted in positive outcomes and seven agreements, which include the conclusion of the first water sharing agreement in 26 years, the launch of free trade agreement talks, and infrastructure projects, particularly in the railway sector. A lengthy sentence like a paragraph, but what does it talk about? Right now, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she is in India and ongoing visit. She is on an ongoing visit to India and meeting with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. These two things have resulted in positive outcomes, have resulted, present perfect, in positive outcomes and seven agreements. So, what is the outcome or what is the result of the visit of Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina? Two things. One, positive outcomes, and seven agreements. What are those? Which include the conclusion of the first water sharing agreement in 26 years, conclusion of the first water sharing agreement. The second, the launch of free trade agreement talks. And the third, infrastructure projects, particularly in the railway sector. These are the positive outcomes. The water sharing agreement on the Kushiara, which was preceded by the first Joint River Commission meeting in 12 years, is a particularly hopeful sign on resolving water management and a very contentious issue of 54 transboundary rivers. This sentence is about the water sharing agreement on the Kushiara, which was preceded. There's one word over here, preceded. Precede means what? To come before. by the first joint River Commission meeting in 12 years is a particularly hopeful sign on resolving water management. So, this meeting is a hopeful sign of resolving. There's another important word, resolve means what? Settle or find a solution to a problem. Resolving water management and a very contentious issue. Another important word, contentious, means what? Controversial, something that causes an argument, but you can remember the word controversial. Contentious issue of 54 transboundary rivers. While there has been a smaller agreement on the withdrawal of 1.82 cusecs from the Feni in the interim period, the Kushiara agreement is the first time the center has been able to bring on board Assam and other northeastern states for the agreement since the 1996 Ganga Water Treaty. Again, a lengthy sentence, but it talks about the agreement. While there has been, this is an important expression, it is in present perfect. Here, been is a past participle form of the primary auxiliary to be, and this is in present perfect. While there has been a smaller agreement on the withdrawal of 1.82 cusecs from the Feni in the interim period, the Kushiara Agreement, this is all about the Kushiara Agreement, is the first time the center has been able to, again present perfect, has been able to bring on board Assam and other northeastern states for the agreement since the 1996 Ganga Water Treaty. For the first time, they could bring Assam and other northeastern states for the agreement since 1996. Easy to understand, but here, when you look at certain words, you have to think of grammar and you have to recollect or think of related information. Here, has been able to. Why is this important exam point of view? There's a common error. There are two helping verbs. One, can, and could. One more is there, able to, am able to, is able to. Common error, some people tend to use both in the same sentence. That is not correct. I can able to, I could able to, not correct. Either you have to say I can do that or I'm able to do that. You cannot use both in the same clause or same sentence. So that way you have to recollect, has been able to bring on board, include Assam and other northeastern states. And after that, there is one word over here, since. There are two prepositions you have to recollect based on the difference. Many a time they have given questions in the exam. What is the difference between, and these two prepositions usually go with present perfect and present perfect continuous. Then if you ask a question, what is the difference between since and for? Since goes with specific time or point of time. For goes with a time period. Here, since the 1996 Ganga Water Treaty, that is very specific. So the preposition since. However, contrasting information, the Teesta Agreement of 2011, held up by West Bengal, remains elusive, a point Ms. Hasina made several times. This talks about a particular problem. The Teesta Agreement of 2011, held up by. Here, held up has a negative connotation. Held up by West Bengal means what? Delay someone or something. And usually it goes with I got held up, I was held up. It is in passive voice by West Bengal. Because of that, remains elusive. One particular agreement remains elusive. Which one is that? The Teesta agreement of 2011. Then you may ask, so what is the meaning of the word elusive? Elusive, usually it goes with success. For a lot of people, they are intelligent, they are diligent, but success remains elusive. Means what? Difficult to achieve. Same meaning here also, remains elusive, a point Miss Hasina made several times. Clearly, the Teesta River Agreement will require more efforts because it remains elusive. More efforts are required by the Modi government and flexibility from the Mamata Banerjee led state government. Two things are important here for this Teesta Agreement to become a reality. One, more flexibility from the Mamata Banerjee led government, and also more efforts by the Modi government. If the deal is to be sealed on, if they have to come out with a solution, more flexibility, more efforts. Two things are required: more efforts by the Modi government and flexibility from the Mamata Banerjee led state government, that is West Bengal. The timeline grows more important for Miss Hasina. Here, the timeline grows, timeline, an important expression, more important for Ms. Hasina. What is the reason? Who is due to hold elections at the end of next year after 3 terms in office? She has been for 3 terms in office and due to hold elections at the end of next year. So before that, she has to finish off all these. Much of her focus was also on attracting investment by Indian industry. Different priorities and objectives. Much of her focus was also on attracting investment by Indian industry, which now constitutes a small fraction of Bangladesh's FDI flows. So, what do the letters stand for? FDI? Foreign direct investment. So, she wants to invite Indian industries, and they constitute a small fraction of Bangladesh's FDI inflows. Ms. Hasina made particular mention of two dedicated special economic zones for Indian companies coming up at Mongla and Mirsarai. There are two places, and these two places dedicated special economic zones for Indian companies. Ms. Hasina's visit, which follows her previous state visit in 2017 she visited, and Mr. Modi's visit to Bangladesh in 2021. So 2017, her visit, 2021, Modi's visit, and now again present have set India-Bangladesh ties on a firmer footing. Frequent visits, obviously the ties become very strong, have set India-Bangladesh ties on a firmer footing and on course for closer engagement in trade, connectivity, and people-to-people ties. So 3 visits, what is the result? Something positive. Closer engagement in trade, connectivity, and people to people ties. But something is positive, something is negative. Here, uh, however, the positive trend in ties goes further back, not because of the recent visit, it goes further back. The positive trend in ties goes further back to Miss Hasina's advent to power in 2009, her unilateral moves to shut down terror training camps and to hand over more than 20 wanted criminals and terror suspects to India. She did certain things in favor of India way back in 2009. So this sentence talks about that. The positive trend, though recent 2017 visit, 2021 Modi's visit, and the present visit, the ties have become very strong. But the sentence says the positive trend, it is a positive thing. The positive trend in ties goes further back. Further back means to Miss Hasina's advent to power in 2009. That is going back 2017, before that 2009 when she came to power. But there is one important word over here: advent. Advent means what? The arrival of a notable person or thing. Advent of something. And she did certain things in favor of India. Her unilateral, single-handedly or unilateral from one side, her unilateral moves to shut down terror training camps and to hand over more than 20 wanted criminals and terror suspects to India. It is incumbent, based on that, it is incumbent. Here, incumbent means necessary for someone as a duty or responsibility. She did something in return. It is incumbent on New Delhi, which has benefited from such outcomes, and the turnaround in relations with what used to be an inimical neighbor, to be equally sensitive to Dhaka's concerns, particularly when it comes to comments made by ruling party leaders on deporting Rohingya refugees, comparing undocumented migrants to termites, the Citizenship Amendment Act, and more recent references to annexing Bangladesh for Akhand Bharat. A lengthy sentence. It is, I think, the pretty lengthy. You have to read twice, thrice to understand. But first, you have to know the meanings of certain words, then you'll be able to comprehend the meaning of this sentence, the lengthy one. Incumbent, two meanings. One meaning who is in power, incumbent CM or incumbent PM. But here, necessary for someone as a duty or responsibility, a different meaning altogether. Another word, inimical, means what? Tending to obstruct or harm. Inimical neighbor. It has a negative connotation. Next, refugees, an easy word. Already have given the meaning. A person who leaves his country because of some problem and goes to some other country. Then another word, termites. Termite, one type of insect, termites. But here it is derogatory in nature. Derogatory means insulting. Annexing. Annex means what? Add territory to one's own territory by appropriation or by using force. This sentence is about something positive from Bangladesh, and based on that, it is necessary for India as a duty or responsibility incumbent on New Delhi, the government, which has benefited from such outcomes. India got benefited, and the turnaround in relations. Initially, the relations were not positive. The turnaround means something from negative to positive in relations with what used to be an inimical neighbor. Initially, Bangladesh considered inimical neighbor means what? Tending to obstruct or harm. So, negative connotation. Based on that, India should be equally sensitive to Dhaka's concerns. It is like reciprocating, particularly when it comes to comments made by ruling party leaders on deporting Rohingya refugees. So, ruling party leaders made derogatory comments on Rohingya refugees and they compared undocumented migrants to termites. That is definitely derogatory. Not only that, the Citizenship Amendment Act and more recent references to annexing Bangladesh for Akhand Bharat. So India has to be sensitive and equally sensitive to Dhaka's concerns. That's what the sentence is about. How does the editorial end? While cross-border sensitivities in South Asia often run high over such political rhetoric, another important word, rhetoric, means what? The art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing. It goes with public speaking usually to convince someone. While cross-border sensitivities in South Asia often run high over such political rhetoric, it is necessary that New Delhi and Dhaka remain focused on their future cooperation, built on their past partnership, and what is referred to as the spirit of 1971. The main idea is being reiterated, so they should not get carried away by such political rhetoric. They should remain focused on their future cooperation, built on their past partnership, and what is referred to as the spirit of 1971. That's all about the editorial. Now let us go to the questions based on this editorial to become good at reading comprehension skill. The first one, what is this editorial about? Second one, what has resulted in positive outcomes? And seven agreements. Keywords, navigate, locate, you find the answer. What is a particularly hopeful sign on resolving water management? Something is particularly hopeful sign. What is that? You have to write. What has set India-Bangladesh ties on a firmer footing? Again, what are the key words over here? India-Bangladesh ties on a firmer footing. Easy to answer. What is incumbent on New Delhi in the context of the editorial? Again, easy to answer. And one word you have to navigate and locate, incumbent. Something is incumbent. That has to be focused on. Now let us go to enrich your word power editorial vocabulary. Please have a look at the word, write the part of speech, write the meaning. First word, precede. Precede means what? It is a regular verb. First, you have to write the part of speech. It is a verb. What does it mean? Precede. No one has responded. C. Come before something in time. C is the answer. Contentious, an important word. Part of speech, adjective. What does it mean? You can think of one word. Contentious issue means what? Controversial issue. Hold up. Hold up has got two different meanings. It is a phrasal verb. Hold up. Remain strong or successful. Elusive. Part of speech, adjective. Difficult to find or achieve. Answer is A. Sunday precedes Monday. That's a nice one. Constitute, again a verb, means what? Be part of a whole. Answer is D. Advent, noun. Arrival of a notable person or thing. H is the answer. Inimical, adjective. Depends on the question. Usually one sentence, sometimes two sentences, but better one sentence, a lengthy sentence. Depends on the question, but not the first one. What is this editorial about? You have to use 5 or 6 sentences. Inimical means what? Tending to obstruct or harm. B is the answer. Annex is a verb. Add territory to one's own territory using force. I is the answer. Incumbent, necessary as a duty or responsibility. Incumbent, it is adjective, and here necessary as a duty or responsibility. F is the answer. Rhetoric, part of speech, noun. What are you left with? Art of effective speaking or writing. E is the answer. Hope you have answered all of them. Now you got 10 words yesterday. Recollect, answer, that will help in consolidation. If one student responds, then I'll go to the next one. What is the meaning of paramount? Paramount means what? Supreme. Very good. I appreciate that. What is the meaning of entourage? Entourage means what? A bit difficult to answer, an important word, more important than anything else, and also the word supreme. What is the meaning of the second one? A group of people surrounding a VIP. A group of people attending to or surrounding an important person, a VIP. A blaze, burn fiercely. Stalker, a person who troubles someone by following or by harassing. Coerce, we have got many a time. What does it mean? Coerce someone to do something. Use force or threats. Group of people surrounding important person. That's right. I think you guys are with the third one or the fourth one. I'll wait for your response. Fifth one, choirs means what? Tapa, force, use force. Now go to the sixth one, exempt. He has been exempted or they have been exempted. Exempt means no one has responded. Sixth one, free from obligation. Very good, Shravani. Exempt means what? Free from obligation. Endanger, an important word. Endanger means what? Put someone in danger or put someone at risk. Hmm. Bizarrely, bizarre means strange, not normal, free from something, obligation usually, rules and regulations, put at risk, that's right, Ganesh. Related word is extinct, endanger, a different meaning. And bizarre means what? Good, seventh one is over. Strange, bizarrely means strangely, not normal. Conquer, conquer means what? Agree, peculiar, odd, abnormal. You can think of all these words. Concur, concurred means agreed, agree. And the last word, clutter. Clutter means unwanted stuff, something that is not important, unwanted. No one has answered the 10th one. Conquered, that's a different thing, a different meaning. But good, it is good that you have recollected. The last word, clutter, something that is not important, something that is untidy, a collection of untidy stuff. Fill something with untidy stuff, unwanted stuff. That's all for today. That's good. You have responded well. I would like to wind up the session. Do remember to subscribe and share.